As the final episode of Happy Valley begins, Catherine, Sarah Lancashire, wakes up at Allison's place and looks at a packet of pills. When Allison Gars, Susan Lynch, joins her, Catherine apologizes for knocking on people's doors so early in the morning. Catherine admits she is going to go back to work even though she didn't get much sleep. She questions Allison about the pills. Allison says they belong to her probation officer. Then she explains that the woman doesn't get them with a prescription. Catherine asks her to find out who got them for her, but Allison refuses to do that. As Ivan Sertic, Oliver Huntington, gets ready for the wedding, he tells Mateja Jankovic, Jack Bandera, that he is going to put the money in his uncle's garage. He'll do it tomorrow once they visit Faisal. When their flat is raided by police, they grab some of the money and flee. They're caught and arrested for an array of charges including helping Tommy Lee Royce escape. Ivan complains about the possibility of missing his wedding. Ryan Rice-Khanna puts on his hoodie before noticing Catherine pull up outside. She tells him that the manhunt team in Dewsbury wants to speak to him this morning, so she'll drive him over after she has popped in at Halifax and done the briefing. Ryan goes back inside to have breakfast before they go. Nevison, George Costigan, complains about Ryan playing video games all night. Catherine urges Ryan to come on. At the police station, Ryan is introduced to Andy Shepard, Vincent Franklin. Ryan admits he doesn't like Rob a lot, although he can be nice when he wants to be. He explains that he was nice to him earlier this week and said his marriage wasn't happy. When asked by Andy, Ryan agrees to make a statement about that conversation to one of the officers. Tommy, James Norton, goes downstairs where he is introduced to Darius's brother Zelchko, Greg Kolpacki. Tommy is told they have to move him because he isn't safe there anymore. Zelchko tells him he is going to be traveling in the boot, but Tommy doesn't want to. As Tommy almost gets into the back seat, he notices a petrol can. He makes an excuse to go back inside. Tommy goes inside to get a knife which he hides in the sleeve of his hoodie. Then he returns to the vehicle with the others. He argues with Victor, Anthony Flanagan, and Zelchko about sitting in the back until he gets his way. Tommy is introduced to Marco, who isn't eager to talk. Ryan talks to DC Willis, Hopi Grace, about the last time he saw Tommy. He tells them that Tommy messaged him on his console, so he called him last night. They want to know more about his console. Tommy is told they're dropping him off and Darius will fetch him. He pulls out the knife and stabs Marco in the stomach. He stabs him again and cuts Victor's throat before asking Zelchko what he is going to do now. Zelchko curses him and pulls off the road. Catherine is told that the chief constable will be another half an hour, so she decides to leave. Zelchko jumps out of the vehicle. After Tommy stops the vehicle, he sees Zelchko behind it. Zelchko runs towards the vehicle before they get into a fight, and Tommy hurts his leg. Eventually, Zelchko stomps on his hand and begins choking him. Tommy grabs a rock that he uses to beat him to death. He checks on the wound on his stomach before hearing himself talking to Ryan. Catherine goes to Becky's gravesite and says she has done her best. After she says she is tired, Becky tells her to go home. Catherine goes home where she looks at old family photographs. She looks at pictures of Ryan, cries, and falls asleep. Darius calls Zelchko's phone, which is next to his body. Police raid the house where Tommy was hiding. Tommy tries to clean himself up and put on a different hoodie before finding out that the gaming console is damaged. He takes the patrol can with him. Tommy goes to Catherine's place and looks inside while she sleeps nearby. He breaks a window and climbs into the basement. Ryan calls Catherine to ask if she is coming to get him since it has been almost 2 hours. Catherine leaves through the front door as Tommy enters the home through the basement door. He goes upstairs and enters Ryan's room. Andy talks to the team about Joanna being killed in the kitchen and put into the suitcase there too. They've also found blood in the bathroom and bedroom. The post-mortem showed several bone fractures. It looks like Rob has been knocking her about the house for years, so Andy wants to bring him in. When Rob Hepworth, Mark Stanley, is brought in, he is asked about Abigail Oates. He is asked about having a sexual relationship with her for the last 15 months. Rob suggests that is irrelevant to what happened to Joanna. Abigail said at one point that he said it'd be simpler if Joanna didn't exist. Rob insists he wouldn't say that, but he might have said things that could be interpreted that way. He tells them how hard it is to deal with someone with mental health issues.